player housing. I didn't give a shit about it until I saw all these changes coming in. Really, the thing that blew my mind was the way to divide up rooms and stuff. I wasn't expecting that. No, fuck this. Basically, being able to build out your home, divide up the rooms and all that. This is Sims, home creator in World of Warcraft. I didn't give a crap until I saw this stuff. Blizzard went further than anyone expected. I agree. Let's see what Bellular has to say about player housing.
Blizzard just unveiled how Midnight's player housing system is going to work, and it came as a massive surprise. Most of us, I think, expected some kind of grid-based system, and a lot of people feared it would just be like Garrisons all over again, where you get a few big prefabs, maybe a little bit of customization as a treat, but really nothing that's, well, that good. No. Actually, look at this. This is what you'd expect from a new Sims game or something like Paralives, you know, one of
that's exactly what I compared it to. I compared it to The Sims. I used to play that game all the time when I was a kid. And the fact that you're going to have this amount of customization within World... This is a mini game in WoW, essentially. And it's going beyond that. It's really going out... Like, if you just want to do player housing in WoW, and that's all you want to do... There is so much to do here that you can literally do that.
Like indie competitors, not something done in World of Warcraft, a bundle of 20-plus-year-old spaghetti code. But credit to Blizzard, they've done it. This is absolutely shaping up to be one of the best MMO housing systems that there is. And hey, also, player dies. Yes, we are seeing dies coming into the game, not yet for armor, but we do know basically what a die system would look like. Now here's something in my mind. Roller coasters, epic universe. I'm going to be traveling to America soon, right? And if it's anything like the last time I went to the States, today's sponsor, NordVPN, will help me save a bunch of money. So here's how. Airline, car rental, and loads of other things have got dynamic pricing that is based on where you are located. So clear your browser cookies, fire up Nord, change your location, and often you'll be able to find lower prices. And if you go to nordvpn.com/BellularWarcraft,
someone on YouTube told me why I don't skip the ads, and I said it's like me returning the favor, right? I react to these people's content, so I'm essentially just, you know, being a mooch-ass bitch reacting to this stuff. So I feel like the way I pay them back is I, you know, put their code out there and watch their own ads. It's like, you know, me paying it forward.
And, well, they've saved me quite a bit more than they cost, which is pretty sweet. And that's just one use,
Don't do it, Bellular.
Browsing the web as if you're anywhere unsecurely means bypassing region-locked content. And with Nord,
so there you go. Use Bellular's code.
Like with their Threat
Use
Protection
Nord
Pro suite of features, which, unlike other basic DNS filtering solutions, are covering far more threats like malware, phishing, scams, and quite a few other things as well. So it just keeps you safe. It's super easy to use on desktop, super easy in mobile. I mean, shockingly easy in mobile, actually. And best of all, you get 4 months for free with a 2-year plan at nordvpn.com/BellularWarcraft.
Do it, I dare you.
And a big thanks to them for their years of support.
Warcraft.
To begin, just look at the sheer amount of freedom that's here. It's honestly less house editor, and it's more like you're moving stuff around in Unreal or some advanced like level editor. And one of the big narratives around player housing is that if WoW was to do it, it needs...
You want to know what it looks like here? What the WoW team actually did? They literally gave players access to the engine that they used to create the game. That's what this looks like. I think this is what the Blizzard dev team uses when they're making cities, making rooms, all kinds of shit, because this goes so in depth in terms of where you can put items. There is literally no limit. You could float a table, put it on the wall for all, or you could hang 2 swords on the wall behind a shield, literally create items using other items. So I think basically what Blizzard did here was they gave players the ability to use the engine that they use to create a lot of the things in the game.
To defeat
which
its
is awesome.
Major competitor, Final
Possibilities
Fantasy
are endless.
14. Now, of course, WoW's not going to have lotteries and all that BS that the FF people very much don't like. But actually, this shows that whoever is building this system knows exactly how to unseat FF14, because they are letting you go wild in a way that that game doesn't. Well, its community around player housing does, but you know what I mean, game systems. So take a look at this. No collision, completely free rotation, free floating items, and even scaling things stupidly big or small. Whenever I say this looks like you're using...
Look at the items on the table. Even though he scales them, the items on the table remain the same size.
Whenever I say this looks like you're using...
That's crazy. And also the clipping stuff, by the way, you can toggle that off and on. So if you want clipping to exist, so you don't have a table going through a wall, you could turn that on.
The Unity or Unreal editor, like, yeah, basically it is kind of like that.
Now, see a HelloFresh tracker.
You can make
we'll
really
talk about that.
Stupid things, and their examples do look a bit silly, but they've done that to show basically what limits you don't have in this. As an example, you can do things like use items embedded in floors and walls to create different shapes. That is a whole art form in
That's
the right
crazy.
hands. I think back to what people did by glitching the Halo 3 Forge. And Blizzard's own screenshot is a great example
Yeah,
here.
crazy.
You could say, put the bookshelf deeper into the wall, and it makes this really nice flat surface. Or in this screenshot, where they combine a floating table and a barrel to make a unique looking shelf. And
Wow, that's freaking awesome. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, the player base is going to go nuts with this shit. You guys are going to see some of the most creative stuff ever. I guarantee you're going to start to see like tournaments in terms of like player housing creativity tournaments and who makes the best player houses.
that is what
I
excites
wonder if Blizzard
me.
will run
You
something
see,
like
there's
that.
one version of this system where, yeah, you're just unlocking a bunch of things and you plop them in a little grid and that's that. But this is one where actually the system itself is a toy. I enjoy playing Minecraft, I enjoy building in Minecraft, and I feel like some of that creativity will happen here. But of course it would be limited if we all had some tiny sized apartment. No, Blizzard could have been real specific about house size, but they've actually just decided to go full TARDIS rules, right? So any size of house exterior can match any interior. Here's actually a bird's eye view that
crazy.
shows a massive sphere with some internal walls being placed to break it up.
Yeah, this is the part that blew my mind. This is the moment where I started to think like, okay, actually player housing's pretty damn cool. The fact that you can divvy up this whole square footage however much you want, that's insane. Now the crazy thing is you can make this one giant room, you can have multiple rooms, you can have, a sex dungeon in the back corner, whatever you want. But I wonder if this is going to be unlockable in terms of how big your actual home is square footage wise. Like the more gold you spend, the more square footage you get. Buy something off the Blizzard store, unlock a couple extra square feet. Who knows? They could do that. Hope not. But going out and just divvying up the home however you want, this is the most customizable part about it that blew my mind.
Now, when you look at the UI details, we also
One
get some
room with a
clues.
chair in the middle.
So obviously, this is just internal testing now, but it does appear that there's a room limit.
Don't
of
break the
10.
game now, Cam
10
Shady.
rooms is quite a lot for a house, right? So that's pretty good. We also have a floor number. So while Blizzard didn't show us stairs or anything like that, it does seem we can have lots of rooms and also
Oh shit, there's a floor number. Oh my god, that's even crazier. A second floor entirely like this? This is going way beyond what I ever thought we would see.
different floors.
I didn't
So
even
yes,
notice
if
this.
you want a big mansion,
Oh, and then there's a room limit number. So the most rooms you can have on a floor is 10? Is that what they're saying here? Okay.
you can
That's
pretty
crazy
much
too, though.
do
10
that.
rooms in one
But
floor.
what if you want parts of your mansion to be the right color? Well, that's why we got to
Could
talk
could
about
be 10 rooms in the entire home, though. I might be misspeaking there.
dyes.
Still
Blizzard
crazy.
casually dropped that they've now got dyeing technology. It's kind of fun. This is something that Keyboard Turner, as one example, brought up ages ago, looking at how some chairs were set up in the files, but now it's not just speculation, it's actually confirmed. Newer assets for housing will be completely dyeable. Now, there are also fixed color legacy assets. That basically just sounds like Blizzard being able to put whatever assets they've already made into this system.
There's that, and maybe like a head of Onyxia, like you can't dye that. That'd be kind of silly if you have a red Onyxia head on the wall for no reason. So that one makes sense too in terms of locking in the color. But somebody saw this on my last video about player housing, was like, oh my god, does this mean we're going to get, dyes for armor sets? I don't think so. I just think color in terms of armor set for WoW is just tied too much to where you get the armor from. Like the raid, literally the sets are basically describing, whether you did a certain difficulty in raid, whether you got the armor set from PvP or open world content. So when it comes to color of armor sets, I think it's just too tied to player progression and power and where the armor comes from. But other than that, dyeing furniture and stuff, that's cool. It's a nice feature.
But basically, when they're building new things, those will be dye friendly. And it's not a simple dye system either. The example they show actually has got multiple color channels for this bed, and the dye window even shows an absolute ton of colors. It's not a full RGB wheel or something like that, but yeah, it's a lot of customization. Now, this tech also raises a good question. Does this mean that transmog dyes could follow? To be honest with you, it's hard to imagine why they wouldn't do that. It might be a feature of, say, a patch in Midnight. I wouldn't expect all player armor to be dyeable because, well, it would be a tangent. I won't do it, but I think they will probably pepper in stuff that can be dyed as time goes on. So far, so good, but there was a main...
I also wonder, by the way, how all this furniture and everything is going to play out profession-wise. Like, we don't have a carpentry profession yet. We should, but when player housing comes out, for sure. But going through all this stuff, I wonder how professions are going to play a role in player housing. If they can create stuff, I don't know, maybe cooking people could create certain, like a meal. Look at this meal right here sitting on the table. Maybe cooking professionals can create stuff like this. Or, what's it called? Leatherworking could create a leather rug or something like that, or tailoring could create cloth rugs, stuff like that. There's tons of ways that they could tie professions into player housing for sure.
I think they will probably pepper in stuff that can be dyed as time goes on. So far, so good, but there was a major player worry, right? Especially because we only have 2 zones for player housing, so people were worried that they would be limited to just those basic aesthetics to start with, that it would just be orcs and humans. Well, even in
not
just these few
anymore.
screenshots,
This is clearly like elven based. This fireplace right here gives total elven vibes. So this is going to go beyond what we currently see with Stormwind and Orgrimmar, and they're going to expand it beyond Stormwind and Orgrimmar too. I totally see Silvermoon being the next one. I'm sure elven aesthetics are the one people want most, beyond just humans and orcs, and Silvermoon getting completely revamped. I can't imagine them revamping Silvermoon and the zones around it. Those are all getting revamped, and not adding a player housing zone into that zone for at some point.
we can actually see a whole range of decor.
Or a wig
We've
maker.
got fairly standard
Fuck you,
tables
Sam's
and human
bald spot.
furniture, but there's also lots of Blood Elf decor as well. Here's a goblin-looking heart sofa, there's a Christmas tree, there's some sort of Culturian style like pub stuff, which is kind of neat. But what we really need to do is look at the bits that they're not showing off. So in these videos, we can see little bits of the UI that are open. Now, these are not the best quality, but we can clearly see
This is
a
early
very
stuff.
long scroll bar and
Oh
6
my
individual
God.
categories for things, as well as filters and a search bar. You only build them.
Yeah, what are these? They look like little chairs and stuff. The candle probably represents like tabletop items. I see pictures here as well. What else could I make out? This looks like maybe could be a rug, for all I know. Plants and stuff. Okay, yeah,
Those things,
interesting.
if you're
This could be something that again, when I'm tying in professions, herbalists can maybe get plants and stuff, put them out in the rooms. What's it called? Animal Crossing used to have something like this, where you could gather items from the outside world, like go fishing, and then literally put the fish in your house once you fished it out. So that'd be really cool if you go herbalize shit, and then bring it into your home, literally pull it out of your bag and drop it into your home somewhere. There's so many things they could do. And yes, talking about lumberjacking and all. If they add tree cutting shit into this game, I'm going to do that. Because that is the one profession. You guys know I don't really do professions or crafting or any of that. But if they add that into the game, that was the one thing that I used to love out of New World, was walking around for no reason whatsoever and just chopping down trees. I don't know what it was about the sound of the axe hitting the tree or what, but that shit was so just, appealing to me. I used to sit there and just chop down trees constantly. It was so relaxing. If they ever added that in WoW, I'd be doing it all day.
making this system so it can handle a lot of stuff. And of course it would have to. World of Warcraft has got 20 years of zones that are full of assets from tons of different styles that Blizzard can throw into this system. Honestly, the hardest part of building a house might actually be the decision paralysis of having too many
Yeah, it's
options.
meditative, exactly.
We can also spy something neat, an object limit. And the object limit here is 10,000.
Holy.
And just over 500 are being used. Now, obviously, Blizzard will have to limit us in some
That's a lot of 10. I mean, if you turn your home into one massive sex dungeon, 10,000 items in it, the possibilities are endless. That's
are
wild.
being used. Now, obviously, Blizzard will have to limit
Welcome
us
to
in
Moonguard.
some way. I imagine the 10,000 limit is for testing. But if what we get is anywhere close to that, it'll be near infinite possibilities for, everyone but the craziest who are pushing the boundaries of this system. So, unless that's an arbitrary testing value, it basically seems like their server tech or whatever's going on with the client is getting upgrades to handle such a giant quantity of objects. So far, it's all real promising, but it kind of means nothing if it's not easy to use and you feel like doing your player house in WoW is basically like you're opening up a professional bit of software. That's actually where I'm quite impressed. So they've got snap placement and it looks really, really good, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy about that. And there is no big
I don't want to
highlight.
pat myself on the back, but you guys remember when I said the UI system is going to be used in the player housing system? That's exactly what happened. I mean, yeah, I don't like to call myself a prophet, but damn it, I was prophetic in some of this stuff. I mean, I talked about the grid system and the snap and all that being a prelude to player housing, furniture, and everything else. Being you can literally do that in player housing. You use the grid system, snap feature, and everything, the same stuff that we've seen in our UI, be able to be used in player housing. You guys just got to listen to me. I'll tell you this shit 10 months before it happens. Just listen to me, damn it. You guys always cussing me out, talk about my bald spot and shit. I'm talking about the game. Just listen.
blocking
Come on.
them from, say, putting the window
What a load of
on
bullshit.
a fireplace. Now, it may just be the angle, but it even looks like it's warped a little bit to match the curve. That's neat. And then there's the parent demo, and it's one of those things, I could explain it, but honestly, the easiest way is to just show you it in action. That's really good. That's really good. Because, man, you see in very static systems where none of that stuff is parented and you want to move your table, and then you've got to move every single thing on that
Realm to destroy.
Besson, thank you for the follow. Welcome to our Scourge.
table to where you want it.
Besson
No,
of
here
the
you just
void.
move the table. Thank God, that is so much better than honestly what I kind of expected. And that's the theme. This is more than I expected. And what I'm trying to get across here is that there are small things that they've got right. It's almost like the people working in this project are used to placing assets in a game engine and knowing what things frustrate them at work. They've basically just decided to go and make the player housing solve those frustrations. But what if I told you the player housing wasn't necessarily just player housing? This honestly looks more like a level editor than a game feature, and you know what that means. In a way, all bets are off. Because decor can be scaled, because it can float, but still have collision, that's going to mean people can
Possibilities
build
are
jumping
endless,
puzzles,
man.
parkour levels, right?
Oh my god.
So in a way,
That's
it's
true.
not just player housing, it's also player-generated content.
You could literally make one giant room and create some kind of jumping level with God knows what. I mean, yeah, the possibilities are infinite.
Almost brings me back to the days of Habbo Hotel. So I'm definitely wondering, maybe if you put in a few custom add-ons too, what the hell could people cook up with a system like this?
A lot of shit.
Okay, so we've covered what Blizzard said. Let's talk about what they didn't say. The elephant in the room is in fact, outside the room. It's outside the house. The thing they did not show off was exteriors.
That's true. They didn't show off exteriors, but I'm guessing based on what we saw on the interior, the exterior is going to be crazy customizable as well. Now, we did see you can move windows on the inside. I wonder if that would actually generate movement of the windows on the... That would be crazy. That would be some mind-blowing shit. Vessi, always catch your YouTube videos. Nice to finally catch you on stream. Oh my god, yes, welcome in. Welcome. What a nice thing to say. You're going to find most people in my chat don't say nice things. Yeah, we built a degenerative chat here. It is what it is. But yeah, this would be crazy if moving the windows actually affects the exterior of your home.
If insides of houses look like this, then, well, what's the outside going to look like? Is it going to be just as freeform? If so, then the implications are honestly massive for neighborhoods. One of my guildies brought up a real good point. If houses are bigger in the inside, that means that they've got to be instanced in some way, right? And that essentially means they can use all of that seamless loading tech from initially Zarlet Cavern, but more recently from Delve Door.
I was about to say, it could be like the Delve's Misty Door, where you kind of walk through it in a way. It's not like an instance load screen moment, but like a doorway where it's like, okay, you like instance yourself as you walk through it. That's what I would imagine. An instance door with just a swirly boy and a loading screen would kind of break the immersion. So this is probably what they would use, this Delve tech.
To basically let you walk into houses, but, you know, through kind of like a door instead of a loading screen.
Yeah.
If they're able to pull that off, that would be very, very nice. They also suggested some real pointed questions like earning stuff, transmog, mounts, and professions. Blizzard wouldn't write these things down in a blog post if they didn't want us to think about them. They're obviously doing some expectations.
Surely earning stuff will be something, achievements and things. They showed Anixia's head on the wall in one of the first cinematics they ever revealed about this thing. So I can't imagine them just giving everybody Anixia's head for no reason. That should be related to achievements. They even showed like trophy stands, stuff like that. So yes, I would think that every time you kill a boss, every time you get like AOTC or something, they should give you something to put on a table or hang on a wall in terms of showing off your achievements. That's what I think player housing should be, is just a place to show off everything you've done in the game. Even they even showed like armor sets, you know, leaned up against the wall and stuff. Yes, if you get some really cool weapons, you know, like Ash Cumder or whatever, lean it up against the wall. That'd be really cool.
Setting. So earning stuff
Your Legion
is simple. They
Legendaries,
could just
maybe.
give us tons
Hang it
of
on the
things
wall.
up front. Then they could connect things to achievements, to the trading post, some to the cash shop, or, well, really
Don't say
whatever they
Warcraft.
want. As an example, unlocking a full Vindicar set of decor for completing the Argus meta achievement. Maybe clearing Black Temple and time walking to get some of those comfy cushions from the Den of Mortal
This would be
Delights.
cool.
If
If I can put a hookah in my house, I'm good. Oh man, my entire home is gonna be a hot box for hookahs. Because, you know, I hookah in real life, so why not have it in my home? sitting there next to my couch, with a little, I don't know, with my achievements hanging on the wall. Man, that'd be great. I would love this.
Mortal Delights. I'm pretty sure people will be making their own dens of Mortal Delights anyway with this system, if FF14 is anything to go by. You disgusting people. Anyway, then transmogs and mounts in patch 11.1.5, we actually noticed something that's not exactly new, but it did just strike a little different and a little recent, and it's basically this. Right beside the entrance to Horrific Visions, the rewards are actually out in the world by the vendor. You can see full armor sets just standing there in poses, and the corruption of the Aspects mount is just having a sleep nearby.
That's
now,
really
for the
cool.
trading post, they've been setting transmogs out on mannequins. So,
oh man, the trading post is going to be such a good thing for player housing. I guarantee you there is going to be a ton of unlockable player housing items on the trading post, because they're always trying to figure out ways to get you to spend your trader's tender, right? And that's going to be a great one. And then they'll start selling trader's tender on the, in package deals with whatever, because they always said they're never going to sell it straight up in the WoW store. But just imagine it. They package some trader's tender with some mounts here or there. You get to upsell that shit. And then you get convince people that, hey, we're not selling it directly to you. But hey, you need some trader's tender for that new bed you want to get in your player house. So there you go. Buy it. Get it.
So if Blizzard can do
Just
this, surely we'll be able to do
a little bit of upselling
maybe
there.
There's a real cool transmog set that you're doing some content. Well, maybe you can plop down a mannequin and display your armor, which is pretty neat.
That would be
Maybe
cool.
imagine having your favorite mounts napping in your garden. All pretty cool. And then there's the last point, professions. And
Hold on. If I can have Invincible napping outside of my front door... or like a stable, like you've seen before in the front of Goldshire, in front of Lion's Pride Inn. They've always had the little, roped off thing where you have the little, what's it called, your mount tied to the little piece of wood. Yes. Imagine that, just sitting outside of your home. What a great way to show off your mounts.
No,
I don't have Invincible though, so that kind of sucks.
With wood.
Yeah.
We need to do something with wood. It's a long shot, but on top of the obvious things like tailoring, leatherworking, and blacksmithing, Blizzard, this is the perfect opportunity to add wood chopping and carpentry. And seriously, if RuneScape wood chopping's anything to go by, you'll basically just 5x your daily active users because that shit's addictive. And I don't bring this up randomly because...
I said it. New World, one of my favorite things in all of New World was chopping down trees. They had the best tree chopping anime, and whoever made the sound... The echoing sound of the wood chopping in the forest was unbelievably good. I don't know, it just released dopamine in my brain. I loved that about New World. And it was the only thing I used to get in there and do was just, hey, I feel like chopping down some trees right now.
Crafting has been a little quiet this expansion, so maybe they've got some plans in the works for the future. Really, at this point, it does feel like anything could happen. And I've got to say, genuinely, this blew my expectations out of the water. Especially because they are willing to let you make an absolute piece of shit. Yes, because, you can scale things to be ridiculous. So many game designers...
This is why they never allowed scalers, or what's it called, little scaling bars in your character creation, because everybody knows people are just going to make big booba mamas, right? Like, that's all you're going to see is massive milkers in the game. And so they never allowed scalers, or what's it called, the little, I forget what you would call it, but the little scalability items when your character creation screen. Sliders, that's what I'm trying to think of. But they're allowing it in player housing, which means, yes, you can literally create the stupidest shit in your player home, or scale thing. Hey, maybe you have a gnome, and you want to be fucking hilarious and make everything extra small in your home. So say a Tauren walks in they can't even sit on your fucking couch. Like, yes, those things are amazing. Yes, boob sliders, exactly. So, I mean, they never allowed it in character creation, but they are letting you go all out in player housing.
Would think, oh my god, if we let the players scale things, then all of their player houses will look terrible because scale is actually pretty challenging to get right. Devs would be worried about having items clipping each other and all of those things that usually mean we get something on a grid system that's very predictable, that doesn't really have as much player expression, but no, here it's actually way more. That has blown my expectations out of the water. Blizzard, if you land this feature, it'll be quite the we're so back moment. I know not for everyone, but certainly for me. Because hey, I love raiding, I love all that stuff. But if I can build some cool shit in World of Warcraft, goddamn right, I'm gonna go and build it. Pretty damn hype, but the good news is it's not the only thing that they are building. This next feature will absolutely be in a better state by the time midnight hits, but well, we're actually getting the new version of Blizzard's default UI very soon indeed.
Yeah, that's a big one too.
More about that in this video.
Yeah, great video, player housing, the customizations, the options, everything you'll be able to do in it. absolutely infinite. It's going to be crazy to see what people make out of this thing. And I'm sure there'll be all kinds of tournaments and shit to be had about how great people make their player housing. Very cool video from Bellular.